I am not one. I don't know who to say I am this morning, but I need somebody to answer one question for me. Why is Rakuten at 15% on Temu today? See, they are trying to play a dangerous game. See, I haven't placed an order in a few months with Temu, and they were doing that little wobbly 3%, a little wobbly 8%, and they would go to 6%. But did your girl tell you that they were going to go up to 15%? Yes, I did. Now, what's not normal is it going to 15% on the 20th of the month. So they must have figured out that a little bit of people got a little bit ahead. Yes. So if you were going to buy some, say, sundresses, maybe a little craft supplies, and you did have Rakuten, this would be the day to do it. Yes. See, now I'm waiting for a small Rakuten payment, which goes into my little teeny weeny savings, and I don't use it. So now I'm sitting here saying to myself, but I honestly, truly do not want to use a firm after I have knocked a firm down so low. I am almost under $300, but I did know I wanted to see when the 15% came back because I knew it was going to come back. They just wobbled me like, boom, you think you know everything. You don't know everything. Watch us get you. And they got me because I woke up and I said, I got the washing machine running and all loving up on myself. I said, let me see what Rakuten has today. 15% is not bad, especially if you're using it with goodness in you. You're not just picking up stuff just randomly, throw junk in your shopping cart. See, if I was gonna look for something, it would be a coffee maker, something like that. And I don't want to be abusive to my landlord, being that my rent, my electricity is included. So I would like to use, what's less on the services of the building because at some point when it gets too high, they're just gonna raise the rent. So I want to be one of those intentional tenants. So I was thinking if I could use one of them hot plates or something like that. But I did the research, and the stove will be better for the hot plate as far as the heat that it will consume inside the home. The hot plate would do a little worse for the heat inside the home. But anyway, let's get this while it's warm, so I don't want to keep forgetting. I'm having baking soda and warm water. And I kid you not, I'm not a pro and all that other stuff, but I damn sure feel much better already. But I had to do a little shake with the box. I didn't do the teaspoon like other people may have done. I just did a little shake, and just mix it up with the spoon. But I woke up. Why was it brick in here? Now I do love the cold. Let's get that understood. But nobody wants to feel that cold in their sleep. So it is what it is. I have a slight, a little bit of pain right here, and I know what it's from. It's from that light bulb. I do know it's from that light bulb. So hopefully, this cup will remove that. I think I was on my third sip when I started feeling my stomach make these, like that, and I absolutely. There's no way to describe it, but you do notice that you feel better. So I will only be drinking one cup of this. I do hear that other people drink, more than one, but it has benefits, and I'm not going to abuse the benefits. So even if I only get, a couple hours of relief or whatever it is I'm looking for, but it will replace the need of taking a pain medicine. Um, Someone dear to my heart is dealing with a situation. I spoke to her last night, and I'm really sorry to know what she's going through. And she found out it was pain medicine that caused her to go what she's going through. And she didn't want to tell me, but something told me something was wrong. So I called her. And I'm not a person to question people. You may notice that about me. I'm not really too much into questions because I don't like to get pride. And I had to ask a question, and then she was a little evasive when she answered. And I asked another question. And then she was like, and I said, I'm not even gonna play anymore. I said because something's wrong and I know it. And then she was like, I didn't want to tell you. And I'm sick and tired of people trying to not tell me because they're trying to preserve my damn feelings. Let me preserve my own feelings. If I had found out that something had happened and I wasn't there and then there was a service and stuff, what do you think my feelings was going to do then? So it is what it is. But I'm going to give it to about 8 o'clock before I call and see how she's doing. But it is amazing because when she was going through what she was going through, she didn't know what was wrong with her. She reached out to a family member who works in a hospital, and they told her it's the pain medicine that you're taking. So I just was reminded in that moment the blessing that it is that I refuse to take pain medicine. I'm not saying I never will, because if I get in a car accident, you best believe, but I will do everything in my power. But did anyone know that crying is a pain reliever? Oh, when I found that out, I was like, is that why this girl is being so much better? I better start crying again. I was like, are you serious? Yes, crying has some type of a pain relieving effect on your body, but boys and girls, I don't know. Today is Monday, and I was going to write in my book to God because I write to God, and I sat here in the kitchen and I said, "Wow, I am so thankful. I am so thankful." But I felt a little sad this morning because my neighbor was here yesterday, and um, you have seen my neighbor on my YouTube channel. But my neighbor wanted to know where I was moving and things like that, and she was like, I'm not going to tell anyone. And I said to her, I would like to have a kind conversation. I would like to be cordial. She said, yes. I said, well, you tend to release things that you shouldn't release that are not for you to release. And we all are human, so no one is flawed. I may hear something and say it on my channel, so no one is flawed. But she did something very detrimental to me, and I never told her. But she knew what she did was wrong, and I'm going to tell you exactly what she did, though. I have no reason not to, and I'm not being facetious, and I'm not angry with my neighbor. It's just that at a moment yesterday when she was here, she realized that I'm leaving, and she said, "You're leaving me." But there was a lot of times where she needed me, but there was a time that I had met someone, and this was more than 9 years ago. So this will tell you how long this woman has been in my life, which was basically from I was young. Anyway, this man never knew I was bipolar. This man never knew I was on disability. This man never knew I was on housing. This man never knew nothing about me. And only thing he knew is that I was fainting damn near every day because I was fainting in front of him. And he would run out the house, leave me on the floor, wherever the case may be. So I already had my own situation I was dealing with. And then she went out and checked my business to him. So then one day he called me, "God, man, did you this?" And I'm like, I couldn't say anything because, for one, I wasn't going to confirm what was none of your business. But my doctor told me I needed to, let people know what was wrong with me because I was feeling like I didn't want anyone to know. But there's a stigma that goes behind people who have mental health illness. And I understood that. But when I actually learned that the type of person that would make fun of someone or have something negative to say or something like that about a condition, a person that just has no control of, I have no reason to fret against that person knowing because karma's going to handle that person. So I learned to not hide behind, a diagnosis. But that one day when the person told me, he didn't know the person's name that told him. So I asked him a few questions, and because this person doesn't lie, he doesn't have the capacity to lie. It's just beautiful. I knew he wasn't going to tell me who it was because he would not divulge stuff like that. So I asked him a few questions, just random one day and I found out exactly who it was who told him. So I didn't want any confrontation, especially when it concerns my health. I didn't want to cause myself to end up in a hospital for something that I could have triggered myself to do behind the understanding of knowing that I was bipolar. So I never said anything to her. So then yesterday when she was here, I just said to her, "You released some details that were not yours to release." And she was like, "I'm so sorry. I know it was that one time." And then she started to do the face thing and everything. But see, that was the first time I ever came face to face with her. Now, she did know I stopped speaking to her because she came to my door and she was knocking the door. She was crying. She was like, "I'm so sorry. Please, you're my good friend." And I wouldn't open the door. I just, when I saw her, she was clear as glass. And that's exactly what I was supposed to do. And when I did end up, forgiving her and letting everything bypass, I still never had a conversation with her. I just basically kept her in the realm of understanding that people that you can't trust, you need to keep them closer to you and stuff like that. And I told her that yesterday. But unfortunately, I saw how sad she was yesterday because for years she has been saying her daughter's going to buy a house and give her a piece of the property. And her daughter bought a house and she moved and she didn't get a piece of the property. But her biggest pain would have been if I had revealed details that I know that was never going to happen. There was times her daughter came to the building and wouldn't go upstairs to her apartment. She only stepped into the entries of the lobby. She didn't want to go upstairs for whatever reason. But I was not telling her where I was moving. She'll know soon. The world will know soon. I'm not hiding anything. But until I leave this building, my business is mine. So she said to me, "Well, how did you do this?" And I said to her, "I just applied. Years ago, I've been applying, I've been trying. But now," she says, "someone is coming to get her, take her down south. I'm leaving too. Well, go ahead and take your things and leave. I hope you're good living with someone else under another adult's rules, because that is not going to happen with this specific person, and absolutely not." So by the end of the conversation, she's not leaving, but I didn't have to tell her. I didn't have to tell her that I figured that out. I just asked a few questions, and the answers let me know she wasn't leaving. But I am so thankful that she did come to see me. There's something in this room that she wants. She was like, "I want it." I was like, "Well, you can have it. You can have it." But I am so thankful. I have been under a lot of, I won't say stress, but other people will say stress. I won't say stress. I know what stress is. I know what anxiety is. I've been under a lot of anxiety. But thank God I have been learning to deal and understand that there are some things I just can't control. So I don't want to say I'm dealing with anxiety. I just want to say I'm having some feelings that I have to work on. I have to get through. I don't want to label everything anxiety because it seems like anxiety is just a part of life. And people who are not diagnosed and not on mental medication have anxiety. They just don't know it. My friend that was used to come here, the same man, he has anxiety. He just doesn't know. And he would run up here and just sit by the window and look out the window. And I noticed over the years that a lot of people like looking out that window in my living room. Just come, catch a chair up and sit right there and look out the window. So I do understand that. But today is Monday and it's about to be 6 a.m. And I know the building opens up at 9. So I know what I'm going to be doing, looking at the email. Did anything come yet? But I do know that I'm going to be productive in here in some form of way. I did say I wanted to work on some greeting cards. They're right here in front of me, but I do have one thing I can promise you, and I think you already know. There's no glue. I can't do any paper crafting. There's no glue. So I'm like, okay, that's okay. But it is what it is. I did something yesterday and I didn't realize it because it's a habit. I purchased eggs, and then I realized that I cannot uh, break the egg and separate and all that other stuff because the yolk and is still there, and I still feel the residual side effects of being allergic to the eggs. And I was not upset that I did it. I was just upset that I haven't remembered yet that I cannot have eggs. So what I'm going to work on from today forward is reminding myself that I have an egg allergy and start removing foods that have egg in them because I'm dealing with some health issues and I really can't figure out what's going on. I kind of believe that eggs in other products could be causing me some of the residual effects that I'm dealing with. So I'm working on that. So that's what I said. There goes that occasional muffin. But my brother, somebody needs to come up here and whoop his tail. Yep. And I'm gonna send him this video too. Pow pow, little brother. Why did he see my little snack and was like, "Oh, you know you can't eat this. You know there's too much sugar in this snatch." I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And when he did that, I say, "See, this is how you show people love. This is how you show people love." Now, I purchased it just in case I needed a boost while I was driving, but I damn sure didn't want to eat it. Not only because of the sugar, but because of just it's just not a good product. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. Junk food is something that most people love, but I don't care about most people. I have to take care of me because most people are gonna take care of them. So it is. We have to show love to one another. So you have to love yourself before you love someone else. So next thing I know, I had a pack of cookies on the counter, and I haven't opened them in like maybe 4 to 5 days, and that right there showed me how much I have changed because I would have normally opened it because it was oatmeal raisin cookies, and I'm not sure if I had raisins, but I know it was oatmeal. So next thing I know, I saw something was moved off the counter. Now you know your place. You put your things down. You know your things out. So I'm looking. I said something's missing. And then it hit me. I said, that boy. And then all I could do is start laughing. All I could start laughing. I said, that boy done came up here, got him some snacks. But those are the things that I need. I don't want someone to come in my home and violate me. But I need someone to hold me accountable. Like, you're not supposed to have that, because that's the brother that would be in here helping me if I was sick. And you don't want to do stuff like that. One of the things that I realized, and it's about to make me cry, so I stopped. I have to learn how to take care of myself. I was about to share an experience, but it was about to make me cry, and I don't want to cry. But I do want to say it. So what I'm gonna do is take a minute to figure out how to say it, so I don't have to cry. That's what I'm gonna do. But so I like this 15%. Guess what, boys and girls? I have been so happy. Every time I see 15%, 20%, and I don't order, I'm like, okay, okay, okay. But I kid you not, there is definitely something I want. I just don't have the clarity of where I should have it shipped because I don't want to be going and then have to go to get my package. I don't want to do that. And if I ordered it now, there's no way I'm going to have it for when I need it unless I jump back on that parkway. But when I get to where I'm going, I don't want to be back on that parkway. Absolutely. That's just too much for me right now. Absolutely. So, but anyway, I realized a long time ago, and this may sound a little bit untidy, and I'm not going to excuse myself. If it is untidy, it is what it is. Your girl, you know who I am. Just imagine being, I'm not married, so I'm going to use the term married. Just imagine being married and you love your wife and you love your husband and you love these cookies, you love this ice cream, you love that beer, you love them cigarettes, you like that wine, all that stuff. And then you turn around and and you want some more, and you want some more, and you're popping the pills, and this make me feel a little, and you're popping the pills, and you just love your husband, you love your wife, and the next thing you know, bam, life just kicks you in your ass, and then you have to turn around and you can't do what you used to do anymore. You got a leg cut off, you got your knee cut off, you got your ankle cut off, you got your hip cut off, you got everything. Who the hell do you think has to refresh their whole life to help you with stuff that you could have avoided? That's what I think about. That's the stuff that used to make me cry. And when I say I cried and cried and cried, it was part of what I cried for because I always want to live where I can take care of myself. I don't ever, ever, ever. But yesterday I woke up and I had a good day and I realized that my daughter is a willing participant to to help me in my struggles. And it is a beautiful thing to know that we have reached a part of life to where she doesn't mind, you know, but I'm not going to intentionally cause bodily harm to myself, knowing that I will cause mental anguish to my child. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. And then this morning, I got a message from Coral, and a beautiful message. She and I have the same exact refrigerator. Absolutely. See, her refrigerator today looked like my refrigerator a couple of days ago. But see, my refrigerator today looked like yesterday because yesterday I went to the store. But I am so proud of Coral. I can't even begin to tell Coral some of the things I want to tell her, and I will never tell her because I see something that is amazing. Is amazing. But I one of the reasons why I'm proud of myself is because without being able to put my hands on people, I have seen what I have done in people's lives. Not necessarily saying Coral, because I don't want her to say, well, you did nothing. I'm coming for you, Coral. Bow, bow, right there, right there. Anyway, and I don't promote violence. I always say I don't promote violence, but I sit down and I think about the people's lives that I absolutely know I had some effect on, even in this building. But when I had my last nervous breakdown, and I ended up crying the amount of times I cried, and to know that someone saw me and said, I'm so sorry for whatever you're going through. I just didn't know if I should knock on your door and ask you if you need help. I just didn't know. It was a beautiful thing to hear her say that because there is no way nobody heard me crying. There's no way. And I will always love neighbors. I will never live anywhere. The desert, the woods, the outback, nowhere. You do not understand the beauty it is to have a caring neighbor. And I will never give that up. So I sit here now and I say to myself, if I could only just give Coral a hug, if I could only give Mary a hug. But there's no way in the world I'm not going to see Mary. There's no way. She may not even know I'm coming, and I will never bounce up on her and ask her, can I sleep over? None of that stuff. I'm not that person. But Mary is an extension of my life to where I feel like we are DNA connected. And I kid you not, there were some times that some things happened I couldn't explain, and I just run it by her. And whatever she says, it is exactly how it came out. And I would absolutely, and the blessing is I am not that far, just a couple of hours. And even if I had to pay someone, I would have to make sure I just want to go into a store and shop with Mary, but right now she can't. She's having health issues. But Coral has helped me so much with my mental health. I did something to my daughter a couple of days ago that Coral did to me, and I'm like, Coral is a bad lady. Bad lady. But I remember sometimes calling her, and she'd be like, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You have to calm down. And I'm like, I know she's not playing in the sandbox. And a couple days ago, my daughter called me, and she was going ballistic on the phone. And I said, I can't hear you. I can't understand. You have to calm down. And then I can't hear you. I want to hear you, but you need to calm down. And when I hung the phone up, I said, you see what Coral does to me? And she's not even in this place with me. That is what I'm telling you. I am so proud of myself because I had someone ask me, the medical provider asked me, how come I haven't been back into the hospital? And I know the hospital, if I was to pop up, they'd be like, where you been? But I am so thankful. But right now, I feel like yesterday, I felt like I needed to be in the hospital. But there's no way I'm even going to the hospital until I have my documentation. Ring, ring, ring. Nah, I'm not doing that because I was in the hospital when someone went bonkers because her appointment for her house and paperwork and stuff, and she couldn't do it, and she ends up on this street sometime 3 in the morning going on Bunkerville Lane, but I'm not doing that, and not intentionally, but I can say I feel absolutely amazing right now drinking this warm baking soda, but I have to do what I have to do for myself. Hmm. I did I did realize one thing. I could be putting myself in a lot of trouble by some of the things that I say. And when I give you an example of some of the things I say, I am not forthcoming with everything. I tend to give tits and tits and tits and mitts, and the rest you're supposed to do on your own. But there are people who understand the gravy that I share. Now, I'm going to tell you one of the reasons why I would never suggest anyone to use baking soda for anything. I am sitting here having baking soda and warm water, a few shakes, and that's it. That's all I'm having. Me, I decide what I want for myself. But there are people reversing diabetes with baking soda and water, but they're under the knowledge that some of these details cannot be shared because of what others may do in having that knowledge, like removing products from the shelf. Ha, ha, hmm, mm, mm. Well, I was packing up a box a couple of days ago, and I was realizing that I had about maybe 10 boxes of baking soda, and I don't think I have enough. Amen. So I have to work out some details with my special card that I have. Make sure I pay, because I'm going to lay. When I get in the store, I'm going to sit on the floor and drag the whole shelf into my damn shopping cart. Yes, I am. I'm washing my clothes right now. I have my new dress in the washer. I put some soap in there and some baking soda. And hopefully it dries in time because it is breaking here, boys and girls. It is cold. I don't know what the weather is, but I have a feeling that if it's nice, even though I don't have any intentions of going outside, I would like to wear my my dress. I was able to get a few more dresses. Now, of course, I could use my Affirm account because I have no spending fund right now. I'm so proud of myself for my little dress I wore yesterday, but I was trying to see what the weather's gonna be. But you have to look into some things and start taking care of yourself. That's what you need to do. And it is 35 degrees. And I slept with the window open all night. That's why I slept so good, boys and girls. So good. What is the temperature? 10 a.m. is going to be 44. Oh, it's going to be cold today. I don't like this freaking app. It doesn't show what the day is going to be. It says 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. is going to be 44, but 10 a.m. is basically the degrees for the day. So you're trying to tell me it's going to be under freezing? Ha! I don't care. I actually don't care. But I have to say to my buddies again, oh my goodness, I had a subscriber and I remembered your name and now I don't remember your name. Let me see if I can find it. I'm so bad. Horrible with myself. I did want to watch a video that I did, but I didn't watch the video. I barely was able to watch anything. That's how exhausted I was. And then I was on the phone. I called a friend of mine, and I was on the phone, and we were laughing and laughing and laughing. And after a while, I realized that I needed something to eat, so I made my dinner with my chicken. Damn, that chicken was good, boys and girls. I kid you not. But someone yesterday made some type of joke meme type of thing and said that somebody needs to open up a food truck next door, Chick-fil-A, whatever that store is, and need to name it Side Check. And I said, you know what? I am definitely the person that would do something like that. The naming of the side chick would be so that if they're missing, the man is missing or the woman is missing, they say, "Oh, I'm going to pick up the side chick." It was just a funny thing, but I said, knowing me, how I wanted a food truck, I would love a food truck, and then on top of that, I would want a name or something that would just be something like out of this world or something that's not tied to what's on the table and stuff. But that would get people to spread the name of the business. So I was sitting there, I said, you know what? I am definitely the person that would do that. But I kid you not, I have to take awareness of the state of health that I'm in. I did something with ChatGPT a couple days ago, and it said that my physical body is 40 years old. No, my appearance is 40 years old, and I'm not trying to say I look 40 years old, so I don't want you to just sit back, and especially those people, and say I do know I'm 56 years old, and I get it. I have a good view of myself naked, so I don't need anybody to toot my horn for me, honey. I can toot my own horn. I am 56 years old, and I know what I look like naked. See, clothing don't matter to me. What matters to me is how I look when these clothes are off, because that's how God brought me into this world, and that's how I'm going back home. So there goes that. Anyway, it said that my physical body is 60 years old, and I love it because I do believe that's exactly how my body feels, like I'm 60 years old. But I'm working very hard to get away from that so I can figure it out. But yesterday, I found out that I don't know where I found it out, so I have a very bad remembrance. Someone couldn't get diagnosed at the doctor, but they got diagnosed through ChatGPT. And I absolutely believe it. Absolutely believe it. Now, I kid you not, one of the things I have to say is a lot of people lost jobs, homes, everything to ChatGPT, and I don't believe that it's going to be stopped anytime soon. But I believe there are some demographics that are missing in some of these details why that happened. So there's a whole lot of information we don't know. So there are great benefits to using ChatGPT, and there are going to be some aftermaths of ChatGPT, especially if you're in a clerical job or anything like that. We already know when we call a business office that no one's answering the phone, but there is a way to get around that person, that machine, and I always work to get a human on that damn phone. Best believe, huh? I always work to get a human on that phone. So I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to toot AI's horn knowing that I know what could happen to me, through AI. The building I'm moving in, everything is through AI. So what do I know? I'm the perfect candidate for that apartment. Why? Because there won't be any breaking of the laws, purposely intentional, none of that. And when I say that, I mean the fact that there are so many people here that were getting away with doing this, and this, and I would never do that. And matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why my neighbor was a little nervous because of something she was doing in her home. And I'm like, you have nothing to worry about. Whatever you did, you chose to do it, and whatever the outcome, But I'm not saying that to be facetious. I'm saying it to be real. But someone was diagnosed through ChatGPT, and it makes total sense, especially when you master to some effect your prompts that you put in. You can ask a question and then you ask it a different way, and you will get almost a different answer. But health wise, it is amazing because there were some times that I felt a certain type of way, and I'm like, am I wrong? And not more or less am I wrong, because I kid you not, I am a bona fide Libra. I am a bona fide Libra. I can look you in your face and know you playing Jimmy Jackass. My head is saying, please don't pick up them brass knuckles, because your girl be going for it sometime. But I say to myself, I'm not wearing these. I like these, but I'm not wearing these. But the hardest part of reality over the last few years is when people realize that I can read right through them. So it has caused a distance effect that I absolutely love. But I have now regained my so I don't need to confirm to you that I know that you're full of shit. I just need you to understand what that block means. No contact, so you don't even have to try. But it is a beautiful thing to retrain your own mind to help you be a better person. And that's all it is. It's helping me be a better person. I have to provide my safety. I cannot rely on outside sources to provide me safety. When I heard a medical provider say a cured patient is a loss of income, I don't care how anybody hears that. I can only assume how I choose to hear it. And it makes total sense. It makes absolute sense because if you hear a person, they're not coming back to the office. Now, I had an appointment a few days ago and I had to cancel. Why? Because I was exhausted. But clearly, I'm not exhausted right now. So something helped me, huh? Because I'm dang on awake, and it is after 6 a.m. So the girl is awake. Oh, mm, mm. I kid you not. I I don't want to monetize my YouTube, but I'm going to. I have to. I have to put something where I understand the dynamics now of why people say what they say. But one thing I have learned very valuable. I kid you not. Now I sit on this channel and I share and whatever the case may be, and y'all are my people, so thank you for that. But I have noticed, like yesterday when the person came, she needed some information. And it was just, let's go around the gate and jump over the rabbit fence and then get to the information. So when the information was needed, I didn't know. That's it. I had to learn that I don't know is a full answer. That's it. You can ask me the different ways, 5 different ways. The answer is still going to be I don't know. Absolutely, because it's not right to take advantage of someone. It's not right to see someone and they're just part of the room, But then as soon as you need something, let me go buck up at their door at 9, 10 o'clock at night because they're awake. Not saying that this person did that, but I'm just giving you an example. And I noticed that it is a form of abuse. It's an abuse of someone's kindness, and then one of the good things is that there are times that a person can run something by me and clearly I don't know how the hell I know it, but I'm like, no, because this and this and I'm like, but I like to learn. I like to learn. Not to say that I know everything, because I don't. I don't. But the good thing is I do know a lot more than I did yesterday because I try to learn something every day. And then to know I could never sleep with the TV on. Never sleep with the TV on, but now I could put on a learning video or something and pull it down to a certain amount, and I can lay down and I go to sleep. But the thing is, I cannot explain how it is absolutely true. You can hear it, and I hear things in my head speaking and stuff. When I say that, I don't mean that psychosis type of hearing. I'm talking about the learning. And there are times that when I wake up, now it did not happen this morning. It did not happen this morning, but the day before yesterday when I woke up, my head said, "You're going to have a good day. You're going to have," and I heard it all step by step. So I was really good. But I believe that was the night that I also fell asleep with that learning video on. Now, what I want to learn is the medical field. I want to learn the medical field because there are some basic food items that you can take that will remove an herbal. So today is day one. No herbals, no black seed oil. The only herbal I will take is sea moss. I will not be taking ashwagandha. I will not be taking black seed oil. I will not be taking any herbal. Today is day one of my 7-day herbal detox for me to be able to see how much of my fundamentals I can put in through eating. So today is day one. I'm in school, boys and girls. I'm in class. I'm learning. Yay! And I'm the guinea pig. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. So I have to figure that out. But I have to say, I am so proud of everyone who watches this channel, who has been leaving me so many nice comments. You have no idea. I kid you not, if I ever scratch a lottery card and I hit it, y'all already know. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something, but I'm not going to tell you something. That's just going to be that. I'm a strange kind of person. I have visions, I have voices, and I kid you not, they're not after me. They're only beneficial to me. So I am thankful for that. And I do know where God stands in my life. And I do know what part of the Lord I provide for my environment. And I'm thankful because there are some people that have been brutally honest with me over the recent weeks to say that they truly understand why I had no business living here as long as I did, because I do not fit in. But it is a surprise to hear some people actually say it now. You don't belong here. I don't belong here. And I knew it for a long time, boys and girls. But one thing I did know is that I am thankful that I did live here because I like shelter. I slept in my car before. I slept in a homeless shelter before. I even slept outside before. So I don't want to ever go through that anymore. That is one of the reasons why I still hold on to fear. And one of the reasons that I'm able to laugh about that is because I have been trying to talk myself down from a massive breakdown, just waiting for what I'm waiting for. But to know that I still, because someone could be facetious because of something that I did with no harmful intention, and I had every right to do it. I was on the right in every step of the way. And now to know that I still can wait to the very last day of this month and still end up homeless. The only thing I'm saying to myself is I have to find my birth certificate and my social security card in that living room because I could very well, my lease is already terminated for the 30th of this month. And I I did not intentionally cause attention to someone not doing what they were supposed to do, but I did find out that that was a problem. That small little kindness might have been a problem, and now the person who leaned to tell me is no longer in my health care. So it is larger than it should have been, and I hold myself fully accountable. I did what I was supposed to do. I did the right thing. The blessing is I did it through email. So if anything did happen, I would have a great leg to stand on in the courthouse. I'm just not the person that wants to go to court. I have one thing I clearly understand about the courthouse. The lawyer is going to click that clock even if he doesn't do any work. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to go to court for any reason. Just show up, appearance, and leave. The lawyer just got a paycheck. That is the worst kind of money to make, money that you didn't work for. You understand? And I'm not saying a person that does whatever is not working for their money, but I mean we have to get real. The amount of money that a person has to pay just for someone to walk in and stand up and say, and have nothing, no progress done for the day. That is a terrible way to make money. I never realized how bad it would be if I ever needed a job and wanted a job in that field. It is not fun. And then to know that the more money you have, the longer they keep you going back and forth to court. That's not right for anyone. For anyone. And then I say to myself, okay, now this is really funny. You young and you want to get married and you loving up on the Barbie doll and you want the doll that has the doctor hat on. And then when you grow up and you realize that that man is barely home, that man barely gets to raise his children, and you're like, you work too many hours, you have to choose for the family. But did you really want that doctor, or did you want that doctor's paycheck? So a lot of things need to be understood. I am absolutely, absolutely gratefully blessed that I think of the way I think sometimes because I kid you not, I see a lot of women in these groups and I'm laughing half the time because they're like, if this man don't bring the money to the table, I'm leaving. Well, bye, because everybody know what a man is. 9 times out of 10, honey, a wobbler. The same way he wobbles under your 2-foot table, he gonna wobble into somebody else's. But if you feel that your integrity is linked to a dollar bill, that when you spend it, it's gone, then buy it. But I love the fact that I have male friends. My friend basically told me anytime he's in any relations with a woman, if he has to pay down on it the first time, the whole relationship is a pay down on it. It's not going to change in the mind because of how he had to get it. So and I'm not a person that says this is right, this is wrong, because one thing I have learned, honey, I don't care about anything anyone says about me in any relationship that I ever be in, because I do know that God is moving in my life, and if God moves me into this direction when I know freaking well that this direction is not good for me, there's something good for me there that I just don't have yet, and I'm leaning towards it. The only thing I'm gonna lean towards is keep my damn mouth shut while I'm leaning towards it, because sometimes we have to say, okay, we're not driving this train. We may not believe, but somebody, something, some force is driving this train. So ever since I let go and let God, my life is changing, honey. And if nobody can see it, that's on y'all. You need to take off your glasses, honey. Put a little bit of Dawn detergent in there, get you a microfiber, and clean. Because, honey, God is walking in this life. Yeah. That's why I'm very careful how I let people come in here and, just want to be friends. Nah, we're not going to be friends. And like I tell anybody, honey, I am not going to be that female that lay down with a man and you running around, oh, this is my friend, and bringing this man to my man. Nah, I'm not doing that. You do that if you want to, but that's going to come back on you some kind of way. And what I'm seeing now in some of these groups and these people are going through things, I had to go through a massive, massive breakdown for me to realize that it was not, definitely not the way I saw it. Absolutely not. But I am thankful, boys and girls. I am thankful. God has healed me because, honey, when I went through that recovery, my body detoxed from a lot of bullshit. A lot of bullshit. I was able to realize where I was convenient and where I was needed and where I was wanted, but where I was filling others' cup and not filling my own. So now I have reversed. And one of the beautiful things is I finally got people to understand that abuse of ringing of my phone, just and expecting me to just drop. No, I'm tired. That's it. And I have nothing to explain. I don't know what the hell happened to me where I was explaining to the world that I was tired. No, I'm tired. I know you don't think absolutely. I know you're not. You don't think I'm going. What? Are you asking me to get behind the wheel of a car when I said I was tired? Do you really not care about me? Huh. But someone did something to me that I should have learned that day and walked away. But they ended up doing something to me later on. And I shared that information with someone last night. And she said, I would have walked away too. She said, but she would have did something else before she walked away. I said, no, it's not necessary. Sometimes you don't have to fight your own battles. Sometimes you have to say, okay, kindness is loving from a distance and walking away. I just hope I don't see the person face to face, because I don't know if I will be able to look at this person and walk away like I don't know them. But I do have a great capacity to do it. Great capacity to do it, but I don't think I would want to. And I don't want to ever tell this person where they betrayed me, because I don't want the excuse of why they did it, or I don't need it. The fact remains you did it. So that's it. So, and I told someone last night, I said I never told anyone. And I told her, and she couldn't believe it. She said, girl, you've been through some stuff. I said, yeah, and I really could have hooked off that day, but I said, no, I'm not going to do it, because I walked myself into that. I walk myself. So my thing is, and I cannot tell you no lie, accountability will change your life. Kid you not, absolutely. And you can sit down. Now, me, I choose to turn off all the lights and I choose to just look up in the sky and I choose to talk to God. And I'm not asking, can you do this for me? No, 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 no. This is what I need. But see, I have free will. So I need to be moving and shaking in my own life. I need to make things happen for myself. I can't ask the world, the universe, nothing to do everything for me. I like my hands to get in the grind and do this. So I like moving and shaking. That's why I say I am the master of what my life is going to be going forward. I'm afraid of a lot of things, boys and girls, but the number one thing I'm afraid of is losing my home. I don't ever want to live on the streets again. I don't want to live in a car. I don't want to go through any of that. The fear of what could happen when someone is by your glass and you don't have anyone to protect you. I am a grinder, honey. I'm a grinder. You could slap me and I could walk away and I could pray for you while I'm walking away. But there is a tip, there's a scale, And this girl right here, I say, walk away, because you're walking away from prison bars. That's it. Someone asked me a few days ago, she said, "Girl, I can't believe you." Yeah, I did, because I am walking away from handcuffs. That's it. That's it. People ask sometimes, I can't believe, because I know you, I'm walking away from handcuffs. That's it. Now, I kid you not, I have no qualms about anyone being anything that they are. However you came into the world, however you live your life, it's your life. I even had a very good conversation with someone that I love to the depths of this soul that I never thought. But I had to explain something to her the best way I could, to where she and I would still be able to be good, and then she know that I'm not passing any judgment on anyone else for anyone else's lifestyle. I didn't know how to do it, but I did it the best way I could. And I just told her, me as a person, I would never want to go to jail, prison, none of that, because I don't want to share room with a titty. That's it. I don't want anyone dressing up and changing clothes and lotion, and they have titties. That's it. And then you should see it. Ah, ah, and it was nothing but laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. It was never anything about what I thought, this disgusting, gross. None of that. It was just me, how I felt. That's it. And then she chimed in and we were laughing. It was so much fun. But I kid you not, I literally went on a blind date. And I wasn't a willing participant of the date. I thought I was just coming for company. And my phone rang, and I was like, "Well, I'm about to go out with so and so. You know that girl is no good. You shouldn't go nowhere." And I shouldn't have went, but I wanted a little outing this day, and I went. And purposely and intentionally, I saw something, but I saw it when it was too late. Anyway, I kept saying from the whole time, I didn't want anything to drink. I didn't want anything to drink. And this one friend knew I don't like to drink outside. I like to drink in my house. But she went to the store. The man went to the store. Whatever the case, they dropped off here. Everybody picked up my favorite drink. We in the house, and I'm looking around. Next thing we're talking, and I'm sitting there seeing. So I said, "You know what? Let me have something." But it was already in the glass. And that's another thing that Shay Shay does not do. I don't drink something somebody else made, but I've made the mistake of being what? Comfortable. Comfortable. But anyway, that day I woke up with no clothes on. Absolutely no clothes on. And there was a man in the bed, not in the bed under the cover, but laying on top of the cover next to me. And I lifted my head up and I said, "Did you sleep with me?" And he said, "No." And he put his hands up. He said, "I need you to just be okay." And I'm like, and I'm looking, and I have no clothes on. So I'm looking at him like, "Are you ready? Because we about to fight. It's hands on now. You either gonna knock me out, but you're gonna have to." So he was like, "I need you to get dressed, and I'm gonna come back in 10 minutes so we can have a conversation." And I said, "Okay." And the fact that he was on top of the cover, and the fact that he was really and truly not being that type of person, and it didn't hurt that he was gorgeous, but oh, that's sexy. But I was not interested. I was not. But then he came back in the room and he told me a whole lot that happened that I wasn't even aware of, and the fact that I was screaming that they thought the police was coming. It was dangerous, but the girl, the girl did a whole lot to try to get me to partake in uh, what's that? What y'all call the rumble? So yeah, it was dark. It was dark, and he was like, "She is definitely not your friend," you know. So later on, the person came and was crying. "I'm so sorry," but I just kept asking the one question: what part of me gave you the inclination that that would be okay? You put my life at risk. The man said I fell back trying to run to where I fell down and almost hit my head on a marble table. This was the first time I was in these people's house. They had just moved there. It was horrible. And he was like, "She is definitely not your friend." But see, I didn't need to squabble or whatever that out in the street for me. She pleaded with me, "Please don't tell anyone." And I didn't. The only thing I asked her in kindness: "Please don't speak to me when you see me. Just act like you don't know me." And unfortunately, she has not grasped that, because just recently I was recording and she was, and and I'm looking like, wow. And my mother is like looking like, why you don't speak to her anymore? I don't need to disclose that, but there was another time I was really good friends with someone, really good friends with her, and I never knew anything about her side specialties or anything like that. And one day, I went through something with a guy that I ended up meeting, and he did something against the law and tried to drag me, involve me in it. I wasn't taking part of that. So I reached out and I was, my friend came over, but I had a two-bedroom and my daughter was in my bed sleeping. And when I went to take my shower for the night, I came out of the room and my daughter was in her bed and the girl was in my bed. And then I said, that's not, my daughter's sleeping here. And she was like, oh, and then she had no panties on. So then I'm quite sure you can understand the disconnect between having no panties on in my bed. So we don't need to go any further. So no, I have not seen said person, and no, they do not live in the same town anymore. But I absolutely wanted to know, what did I do to give you the impression that that would be okay? Because if I did do anything, then I want to correct my behavior so we don't have any like miscommunications or anything. But if you're seeing my video, hope you're well. And I always mean that in kindness. But it is what it is. I've had violations that have me feeling a certain type of way. But I kid you not, I'm in a group. I'm in a group now, and these are men who like men, and I'm having the best time of my life because it's nothing. I actually don't know how I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna say that because it's gonna turn into a different video. But I'm actually having fun in some of the groups. I'm in groups that I don't know much about, and I'm learning. So it is what it is. But my best friend is born. Well, we are not best friends anymore. But you might have heard him in the video because he popped up at my house. But he was my ride or die for many years. But the difference is I'm older than him by some years. But I went back to school. But him and I were neighbors. So I don't know how we ended up neighbors. But girl, you need some Clorox because I'm going to the store. I'm gonna bring you some Clorox. And I'm telling you, he was my bestie forever. And it is such a beautiful thing because he was here a few months ago and he had gone to prison. I have already shown y'all what he did and all this other stuff. But come to find out, someone laced up his drink. There is a video with him beating a police officer. It's all over YouTube. But anyway, before I moved in this apartment, he came to my other apartment. And I kid you not, me and him were besties. We lived right next to each other. He basically helped raise my daughter, everything. But he came to my house one day and he was like, if I see any of my men in here, he was like, it's gonna be a problem with me and you. And he was doing this, but he had already beat two women in the street. One is on YouTube, and the other one, she was dangerously um, changed changed for life. I'm about to cry. It was that bad. But he is over 6 feet tall, and he is, out there, not fat, but boom, he's like a. So there is no way I was going to come in physical contact to that after I have already witnessed with my bare eyes on YouTube when he beat that woman. And then the one that he beat down the stairs, let's just say he's here and she's there, and he stomped her from up the stairs on concrete steps all the way down. So his mind snapped, but we are born the same day. If that doesn't tell you, nothing will. We have the same birthday. That's why I say you have seen him, or maybe not his person, but you've heard him in the background because we share the same birthday. And I don't care where I am on the map. If he's around, he's going to find his way to me. So, as a matter of fact, I was in here sleeping recently, and my daughter came in with him. And I'm like, am I seeing things? And I am so thankful because there was a time that he was going through something that I did not remember. I had no remembrance of it whatsoever. But he came here and he pulled me into the other room. Was like, let me say something to you. And I thought he was gonna beat the shit out of me in that other room, and I was gonna lay on the floor and just die because there's no way you can even attempt to defend yourself against someone that big. But he just started crying. He held on to me. I'm like, okay, am I missing part of this conversation? But he said to me, he was going through something. I saw him outside one day and I just told him to come to my house and shower and get some rest. And I don't even remember that day. I don't remember, but he said that day changed his life. He's clean, sober, and everything. Clean, sober, and everything. And I don't remember at all. But he said to me, out of everybody, nobody offered me care besides you. And I said, oh my goodness. And one of the reasons why I don't like to say stuff like that on my YouTube channel is because the way the government is set up, that they would find any reason to say that you don't need whatever you need because you help people and stuff like that. And it makes me really feel sad. That's one of the reasons why I say I may not want to record. I do have every intention to do a video when I move in of me cooking, because you will know I moved in when you see my stove. And then if you don't see me anywhere after that, then you would understand the demographics. But I'm gaining something when I move. That's one of the reasons why yesterday I started to cry, and I didn't cry. The tear didn't actually roll down my eye, but I almost cried because I work so freaking hard and I'm gaining 9 times out of 10. Now, when I say I'm gaining, the economy right now is on Screwville Lane. You hear me? Fucked up. But I am moving to possibilities, opportunities that can help me where I want to be at. Is where I'm going, so I need it. You understand? I already found some locations I want to walk into and visit and introduce myself. I'm not even scared anymore. I'm really ready. I'm going to have my cards. I have some of my little knickknacks, and he was like, this is who I am. If you could just put to see if you can try. If you need me, you can reach out. Here's my card, and that's it. And I'm just going to do it. I'm not afraid anymore. But I don't want to sit down and say, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and don't do something to make it happen. And then when this email came and the apartment came, and I'm like, wow. And then one of the things that I'm absolutely amazed by is the fact that no one that I know of would ever give up this apartment for that apartment. Nobody. I kid you not. There's about 5 or 6 people. If I was to take them to where I moved, and they would be like, I would have never left that. All them closets and everything. But you know what? Honey, and I will be quiet. I will be still. I will be loyal. And I will take what the Lord has provided, because I have asked for it. But when I say ask, no, I didn't ask, honey. I demanded. This is what I need. I have to live a better life than this. I don't want my daughter scraping financially to take care of me. Absolutely not. And in order for me to show that my daughter that she can get out there and keep trying and trying and trying. But her situation is worse than mine, because physically you just can't get too much out of a physical ailment that there is no reconstructive surgery for. So it is what it is. But your girl is feeling better. I'm gonna take my own clock in a minute. I cannot believe I sat here drinking warm baking soda and not tea. That's what I say, honey. Woo! Now, did y'all see that? That's that damn arthritis. If that was, but did you? I don't know. I have to replay this, but I don't want to replay this. Let me see. 103. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna have to go back to 102. I cannot believe it, because when this hand starts failing, this hand just swoops in all the time. I had a hot tea the other day, and this hand just said whoop and caught it, and I got it to the table. But this has cold water in it now. So thank you so much for all you do. And as far as my comments, I went in and I removed everything. So if you want to call me a bald-headed, fat, four-eyed, ugly, whatever, the comment will go through. It will go through. Just so you know.